Hello and welcome to Nobody Meets Somebody, the podcast where two comedians
who are currently nobody
meet somebody.
who is famous. My name is Mary Picarazzi.
And I'm Tanveer Arora.
And today's guest, we had the amazing Sean Patton. He is a stand-up comedian who's based out in LA and New York. He has performed at Comedy Central's Live at Gotham. He's also appeared on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and Conan, just to name a few. I'm excited. Tanveer, are you excited?
I am super excited. So I missed the opportunity to meet him when he was in San Antonio, but I've heard great things about him. So let's just start talking to him.
Let's talk with Sean. Hi, Sean. How are you? We're so happy that you're on the show.
I am happier than you that I'm on the show. You'd never even know. I've been up all morning. I did the squat thrusts.
Wow.
You know?
Yes, nothing helps your pelvic ground like a squat thrust. There you go.
Well, you know that you're supposed to, the first thing you're supposed to do every morning is wake up, drink like too much water, and then do a bunch of cat cows. You know what a cat cow is?
Yeah, done that.
Yeah.
And apparently that loosens up the spinal cord so that
I'm pretty sure it's just a glass of water, not too much water, but you know.
You're supposed to drink enough water to where you piss your pants while cat cowing. That's how you're supposed to start your day.
Okay. What about pooping? I am really concerned about not being able to poop in the morning.
I mean, if you do a cat cow and you poop your pants while cat cowing, you go out and tackle that day because you just.
All right. Noted.
You own that day. Well, we are starting this off on a great note.
Yeah,
as always, I have my red shiny hat with all my super duper questions. Tanveer, what you got?
I just wrote it down last minute. I apologize, but we'll make it fun.
We're never going to get that pirate sponsorship that way. Come on, kid.
I think the fact that you guys have questions written down is already miraculous to me. That there's not like a third party you have to be like, hey, Buzz, what you got the questions? Hey, Buzz. And then some other guy's like, eat shit. You know?
People would be amazed the amount of preparation that goes into this because it doesn't look like it at all.
You guys want real preparation. I know. I believe. I don't believe podcast unless I believe.
Well, we're going to start with the first question. Where is the most inappropriate place you have made a joke?
The most inappropriate place?
Yes.
That's a good one. Not inappropriate place I've made a joke about, because that's most inappropriate place I've made a joke. I would probably say was I've made a joke at a funeral before, but I was really young and it wasn't intentional.
Right.
So I'm not going to count that. Definitely made a joke at Mass. That's easy.
That's easy, yeah.
That's easy. Oh, I made a really inappropriate joke once while performing a wedding ceremony.
Nice. What was the joke? If you want to say it, yeah.
So basically, the wedding part, my friends that I was marrying were for the vow. They did their own vows, and then for the part where it's like repeat after me, and they were sort of like, we'll just say whatever you say, just make it funny. And I was like, okay, shouldn't have given me that much leeway. But I just made a bunch of I blank take thee, to fondle in the morning. And they were laughing, and the bridal party was laughing. I kept going to perform orally on.
Okay,
it was while performing a wedding ceremony. I just made them both say they would do a bunch of sexual shit to one another in front of parents and great aunts. And I realized halfway through, I was like, oh God, I've gone too far. And people afterwards made it known. They were like, yeah, that was you probably shouldn't have done that. But the bride and groom were like, no, we loved it. So it's like, fuck all y'all.
Exactly. That's all that matters. That is literally all that matters at the end of the day.
The weddings have been taken away from the bride and groom. They really have. And people are like, no, it's about the family though. No, fuck that. Yes, it's about the family, but let the bride and the groom have fun.
They're feeding you for free. Fuck off. Deal with it.
That's true.
Or their parents are,
Well, whoever's paying for it, that's their day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question. Would you quit comedy for $1 million? If not, how many dollars?
I wouldn't do it for $1 million. I feel like $1 million is not nearly as much as it should be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It should be $1 million should be I'm set.
Right.
But No, I feel like $1 million's not what it should be, and it would just be then. What would you do with the $1 million? Just be like, well, I'm going to invest some of it, and then that goes to shit. $1 million's not even enough to buy a property.
No.
In certain
Well,
cities.
that's true.
Well, especially in your state, no, that would be taxes. I mean, by the time you get it, whew.
Yeah. I mean, so for $1 million, no. I think if you wanted me to quit comedy, I would need $50 million.
50 million. That's
Yeah.
That's the first one. I think we asked someone and they said 10. 10 was the upper limit.
No,
50.
because for 10, I would still feel guilty. Like for 10, I would still feel like, what am I doing? And I would try to open a comedy club, and then I would be like, if I'm on stage as the owner, though, that technically isn't quitting, but then I'd probably get
nice loophole there. Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
For $50 million, I would move to the Maldives and just fuck off.
Right.
That's
okay.
fair.
That's fair.
All right. What music are you listening to right now?
Lately, I've been listening to this podcast called This Podcast that I'm on right now. And it's just a mashup of every podcast that I'm on currently while I'm doing it.
We're so close to that being a ringing endorsement for a second.
No, it's this podcast. I always listen to it while I'm on it. Lately I've been listening to this is fucking the Isley Brothers.
Ooh, I love the Isley Brothers.
Have you ever listened to some of the songs written by R. Kelly though?
Come back around.
There's like a few songs that for Ron Isley. R. Kelly wrote a few songs, and there's a few that are just like, oh, okay, he was testing this shit out before he went.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. R. Kelly was a suspicious-minded motherfucker. He should have been, but he wrote a lot of songs about why you cheating? Where your friend? If you was with your friends, what was their social security number? Oh, you don't know that you wasn't with a friend if you don't know their number. It's like crazy shit where you're like, bro, you were he was probably hiring private detectives constantly to scope out everyone he came in contact with. He was also banging 15-year-olds, but
that's how you know you got a shady person, because they're the ones suspecting from everybody else because they would do that shady shit. That's how that works.
Exactly.
All right. What's your favorite thing to do apart from comedy and jerking off?
That's a great lump together right there too. Just to go ahead and be like, we're going to preemptively strike down the first one that so many people would say to try and be funny.
So many comedians would say yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Favorite thing to do, you know what I really love to do, and this is whatever. I really love practicing. I'll show you with my shillelagh.
Ooh.
Just fucking taking some walking around. I'll do this at night, late at night. I take night walks when I'm not doing comedy because I like to clear my head. I take my shillelagh with me, and I sometimes I dance with it and twirl it. Sometimes I just fucking walk with it like a cane because I'm sure I'll be there one day 20 years from now. Hopefully. Maybe less, maybe 5 years from now. Sometimes I talk to it like a crazy person on the street just because one of these is going to be my future. An old man who needs to walk with it, a crazy person who needs to talk to it, or I'm singing and dancing, flipping it around, also probably a crazy person.
Nice. I love it.
Also, this looks like a very sturdy weapon.
Yeah, that's the one I unfortunately have to use it for a lot. Cats, children. Cats! Get that fucking child away from me! Pop! I don't use it on cats. Cats are way too quick for me. This thing's pretty great. I got it in Dublin, as you can see. I've whacked it against a few things by accident.
Subway people.
Oh no, Subway people have way scarier weapons than this. Subway. I'd never brand. Don't pull your dick out unless you're willing to fuck. You know what I mean? That's how I'd say. Because actually, the saying should be on the Subway: "Don't pull your dick out unless you're willing to compare dicks with the guy who's already got his dick out." And I guarantee his shit's at least veinier than yours. At least veinier.
Well, that's what you're aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Is veinier always better than non-veinier? I think it depends, right? I don't know. Okay, we won't talk about that.
Mary just put her veiny. No.
What would be the worst way to die?
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like a comedian would be like, on stage, Actually, I think that would be the best way to die. If you have a crushing set, standing ovation, like "Thank you, everyone, good night," and then you walk backstage and just drop dead.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So no one had to see you drop dead, but like the last thing you remember.
Is that the worst way to die?
No, that's the best way to die. The worst way to die would be the exact opposite. Just bombing, right? And then being like, "Thank you, everyone, good night," and then walking off stage and not dying, just still living. I'm still alive. I gotta live with this. I think being buried alive, I think would be the worst.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think
you gotta fucking live with it and think about it. And
why did you think of that? Is there like a remote possibility that's going to happen?
No, I hope not.
Just okay.
That's why those bells got put in. Remember those old school bells back in like the 1700s? They used to bury people and tie a little string and all the way up to the top, and it had a bell because people would be like unconscious, and then they'd bury them, and then they'd still be alive, so they would have to move their finger, and it would ring a bell up top, and then somebody would dig them out.
That's also like, hey, maybe just don't be so quick to bury everyone.
Yeah. Why don't we take our time?
He's not responding right away. You're like, Chuck, he's dead. Get a shovel. Like, no, man, he's really fucking hungover. You know.
Yeah,
that's why it's better to just cremate people than actually bury them. Like once you cremate, they can come back. They can ring the bell. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not ringing the bell by the time they even feel the warmth of the fire.
Exactly.
That might just be murder at that point, but hey.
Yeah. I just love the fact that there was a time where they were like, look, we might accidentally bury a lot of living people.
My bad.
You know, we love digging. We love digging holes. Okay.
All right. What's your favorite over-the-counter medication?
Fuck, bro.
I love this question. I love this question. No one ever thinks of it.
I mean, like, over the counter.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really like aspirin. You know,
all right, that's
keeps you from having a heart attack. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you remember like K2 and all that shit, like the over-the-counter marijuana.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine is Lactaid because I'm lactose intolerant and I carry it right. I have it right here. I just took one. There you go.
Yeah. Did you just accidentally like, fuck, I just ate all that ice cream now?
He just takes it to take it at this point.
Sorry?
I keep accidentally drinking all this milk.
No, I love drinking milk. I love dairy, and that's why I keep a lot of these with me.
Oh, then my favorite over-the-counter medication is the morning after pill.
There you go. That's a good one.
I mean, I take it myself. It's a good time, bro. You just get loopy, you know? It's a good buzz.
We're going to follow that great question up with what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, man. I got so fucking many. I should have done my research on myself. But, you know what my biggest pet peeve, okay, the one that I'm dealing with right now is people who posture, who act like shit's crazy when it's really not that crazy. You understand?
This guy's calling people chicken littles?
Or just someone if you're like hanging out at a bar and some drunk dude's like, I got a Mitsubishi in my pants. Fuck you, and stumbles away, and you're like, wow, that's literally the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, that's the craziest thing you've ever seen? Really? That's literally the craziest thing you've ever seen is a drunk guy say something ridiculous. Like I see that a lot, especially in comedy with like people trying to, I guess a deeper version of what I'm trying to say is my pet peeve is people who try to pretend like normal is a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially in comedy, like, no, we're not normal. We're all damaged fucking goons that are willing to put it out there on display, right? So there's no normalcy to this. Like, I kind of hate when people are like, oh, just be normal. Like, what does that even fucking mean? There's no such thing as normal. Everyone's damaged. And, like, trying to hide it and pretend like you're just, nope, nothing's wrong with me is more damaging. Not only to you, but to everyone around you. I fucking hate that shit. Just let your inner freak flag fly.
People can see through it. People can see through that shit.
But I fucking hate it when people are like, what's going on right now? This is literally insane. No, it's not. No, it's not. You want literally insane? I got 5 or 6 places we can stop at. The actual crazy spot. You know?
Yeah.
That's a big pet peeve. Just don't freak out when something weird happens. Just acknowledge that. That's that person's thing. They like to fart and keep it a little bit, like to fart into a Ziploc bag and sell it. That'd be pretty cool. I'd buy someone's fart if they believed in their fart that much to bag it up and sell it. I'd be like, I'm gonna buy this and just see what happens.
What would be your price point to buy that?
I was gonna say how much. I'm gonna work on it right now after this episode.
I'll counter. I think a fair price to ask would be $20, but I'd counter with 10, and I think that's good to take.
Including shipping?
We'll include if we're talking a fart that needs to be shipped.
Yeah, because I'm in Texas. I mean, I have to ship that to you.
All right, I'd be willing to drop.
This is like Amazon Prime, but you got to buy so much to get free shipping.
If you mailed me a fart, I'd send you $25, shipping included.
Done. All right, this is happening, guys.
Did not say this. Now you're gonna have to document this, Tanvir. God almighty.
If you fucking email me a fart, I'll open it on camera.
All right. With that in mind, what's your dream gig?
Shit. I mean, like what? Like you mean like a one night gig, or
yeah,
or residency?
Or could be right. Yeah, it could be.
What is the thing that'd be like? You know what? I fucking made it.
I mean, there's so many of them. Like, I would love to go back to Edinburgh, the festival, and do a sold out run, because it's a festival in Scotland every year, but you get acts from around the fucking world. Wow. So it's just a different. It's different, you know what I mean? Like, you see some crazy shit, you see some stupid shit, you see some amazingly hilarious shit. But every time I've gone, I've done it twice. Like, I've done both runs have been. One was great, one was sort of shitty, and I was supposed to go back last year and this year, but that's not happening because of flights are just too expensive. They've gotten too expensive. Which they have, by the way. Yeah, we get it, airlines. You didn't make money for 6 whole fucking months. Thanks for
jacking up the prices. We didn't either.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for being like, no, a flight from New York to Chicago has always been $640. Even if you book 3 to 5 weeks out, it's always been $700 for an hour and 40-minute flight. What are you talking about?
I like how they give you like the cheapest flights though, and it's like to Iowa. It's like nobody wants to Iowa for $49 round trip Southwest, so stop telling me this.
Yeah. I mean, like, unless I was like, we'll pay you $49. Round trip. Like, all right, I'll check that out. I like corn, or is that Idaho? That's Iowa. But
no, that's Iowa. You're right.
Actually, going to throw this out there: Des Moines, Iowa, undercover cool city. You wouldn't expect it, and then you get there, and you're like, what? And then you learn first city in America to allow gay marriage.
Oh wow!
Interesting.
Like legal gay marriage, Des Moines, Iowa, of all.
All right, Iowa. Maybe I will visit you for $49 round trip.
Maybe for $69. Right? I feel like I had to just. If you're gonna make a bad joke, just commit to the bad joke and ride it into the fucking ground and own it. Anyway, yeah, a dream gig would be a sold out 200-seat, sold out run in a 200-seater at the Edinburgh Fringe Fest, because that means you're doing pretty fucking great in the rest of life.
Nice.
If you're selling out that festival, 26 shows in a row. Wow. It's a good time too. It's Scotland. Have either of you ever been to Scotland?
I've been to Scotland when I was a kid. It is beautiful. Yeah. It is beautiful.
And Edinburgh's like castles, like legit. Like, oh, this is the castle we were inside of, and like cobblestone streets. You're like walking through and you're like, what's down that little nook? And it's like a spiral staircase in a.
It feels like
garden, and then like a bunch of people drinking scotch, and you're like, I want to do this,
Yeah, it feels like Harry Potter's kind of, right?
It's very,
yeah.
I mean, every single place you go in Edinburgh is like, and here's where J.K. Rowling was when she had the idea for the Ravenclaw. Really? At this bus stop? Okay.
It's a bus stop, yeah.
And here is where she was mugged by transsexual women, which is why she doesn't believe in them. That's a terrible Scottish accent. That's
Yeah, that's where we're going to stop you on, the horrible accent. Yeah. What is your so you've done shows here in Texas. I don't recall this answer to this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. What is your pre-show ritual?
If I told you, I'd have to tell you again. I kill someone. I find someone on the streets, just a random, and I just murder them dead. And the rush from I breathe in their soul, and they inspire me with
There's actually an Indian Netflix series exactly about that. A comedian who has to kill someone before he goes up on stage.
Are you fucking serious?
Yep, I'll send you the link. It is.
Please.
It is so funny. It is so funny. Yeah.
See, man, this is what I love about shows from other countries is that most other countries are not at this like sell to everyone fucking mindset that America's been in for the past 40 years. So you still get shows that are like risky and fucking crazy.
Yes.
And that like what's the craziest concept you got? Let's do it.
I'm glad you said that. I'm like, my first thought was that show. I watched that show. Yeah.
I would watch that show. I want to write on that show. I want to submit. Be a fucking writer on that show. I'll move to Mumbai. I'm sure. Wait, because I remember like they had their COVID cases were swelling, and now it seems like
they got better. Yeah, they finally did. Yeah,
footing. So that's good. But yeah, please send me the link to that show. I want to check it out. But,
I will.
My pre-show ritual is basically watching that show now. I require 30 minutes of alone time. Depends on the show. Like if I'm doing like a headlining set, I like to be alone for at least a half hour before and at least a half hour afterwards. Because in both cases, I need to calm my brain down. I need to calm it down. Okay. So it's like, you ever see, my brain is like a nonstop drum solo. All right. You ever see the movie Whiplash?
Yes.
When he goes off on that crazy drum solo at the end, and pretty much any drum solo you ever watch on YouTube of any great drummer, they all have a point where they bring it down to the basics, to the rudiments.
Right.
So like where they go fucking berserk and then they bring it down to this slow motion and then they come back out of it. Like my brain is kind of at a drum solo all the fucking time, and I need to bring it down to its rudiments. So that when I get on stage, I can and just fucking let it go fucking bonkers. And then afterwards, I need to do the same thing so that I can then get out among people and talk to them. Like I envy comedians who can talk to an audience member immediately after they get off stage. And there's a lot who are far more successful than me. So I actually endorse it. Like get out there afterwards, talk to people, take pictures, let them buy merch, whatever. I can't. It's like my Achilles heel. Like, I wish I could get out there and fucking get in a bunch of pictures, and because then people post it. It looks like you're fucking famous all the time. I wish I could do that. It's my one Achilles heel. I have to go in the back and just kind of be alone for a minute. And unfortunately, some people read that as like, oh, he's too good to talk to people. No, I'm not. I'm too bad. I'm too bad to talk to people. Even it doesn't matter if I've killed or bombed. I have to be alone afterwards.
So how does it work? Aren't people expecting you to be out? Like, say you did a great, fantastic show, and they're lining up to talk to you or to take pictures. You still take your time?
I do, because and this is the fucked up part, but like, I personally don't believe you owe the audience any more than the show.
That's fair.
I really do. Like the show you're going to get more out of the show than you're ever going to get out of me talking to you 15 minutes after I got off stage. Like,
right.
I'm going to be in a very closed-in headspace until I come out of it. And I think there are some people, that's what I kind of hate about social media, is like people now expect to be a part of your life as a comedian. They want to like...
They bought you.
Yeah. No, you paid for a thing. I gave you the thing, the best possible version of the thing I could produce in the moment. I always strive for that. And I gave it to you, and I gave you a little extra. I gave you a 7-course meal, and all of it was fucking cooked with my personal touch. You know what I mean? Like I dumped my soul on top of you. I probably gave you more than your money's worth, and that's it. That's all I owe you. And afterwards, I'll talk to the people who are still there. Of course, I'm not an asshole. I'm a fucking. I'll still say hi to everyone and greet as many people as I possibly can. But like, I feel like that we as the creators have to like. There is a line still.
No, I'll say, is there a point though, like as your, like, let's say your success skyrockets, like Chappelle level, where tickets are $300, $400 a pop? Would you feel at that point that you would need to, or does that still came the same idea of the show is the gift, is the response back?
Because I still feel the show is what you're paying for, and like a guy like Chappelle, those people who are paying the money, they're not getting anywhere fucking near him after the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to get closer to someone you paid $15. And actually, that's something you should know as if you're an audience member listening to this or a comedy fan. The more you pay to see the show, the less likely you're going to get anywhere near that fucking comedian afterwards.
That's true. That's so true.
And don't be pissed by that. Like the show, like as comedians or as performers, we still need our personal lives and our personal space. And I know social media doesn't make it seem like that. But trust me, in a lot of those cases, a lot of those pictures you're seeing, a lot of those hangout sessions you're seeing are people who are like, it's later, the person's been vetted, or they've it's like, hey, that's definitely not creepy. Like I said, I do talk to people. I don't avoid anyone.
Yeah.
But I've also gotten messages from people afterwards who are like, love the show, was really disappointed that you didn't come out and hang. And it's like, well, I didn't owe you a hang.
Yeah.
I owed you a performance. And like, that's what you got.
Right.
And I've opened for far more successful comedians, and I've seen that go fucking sour. I've seen like real weird situations where they have to be like, can someone please get this person away from me or get me away from them? Like they are convinced that we're soulmates and are going to hang out all fucking night. Like I remember, I won't say the comedian's name, but I was opening for this comedian once who's like famous now, and afterwards there was this couple that was legit angry that the comedian was not going to get in a car with them and drive to an undisclosed location to do some fucking blow and then be brought back.
Wow.
They were like legit pissed off and going, and the dude, the male member of the husband, because they're married, was like, so you're just a fucking cock tease. That's what you are. And the comedian, who was male, was like, I wasn't going to fuck you. He's like, whatever, man. I'm saying cock tease in general. Like, you're just going to hang out and get our hopes up that you're going to come back. Like, this is fucked up, man. This is fucked up. And you're like, oh, no. You're fucked up. You had this notion in your head that this comedian, who I'm not going to say the name, but their name was Ari Shafir, who... that Ari like owes you something, that like owes you more than like a fucking hang. Like he doesn't owe you shit. He owes you a show, and he gave you a show, and now you're acting like. Anyway, sorry, that's a long.
Yeah. No, but that's interesting because it's comedy, like you mentioned before. When we put all our personal shit out there, we're kind of laying it on the line. I wonder if the audience feels like they know us better than the transaction that just happened, right? You're watching a show, they just feel like they could just cross that line without lesser than. You wouldn't do that to a music. Like a band,
I remember like one of my biggest idols in comedy is David Cross, and I saw him live. Like I'd been doing comedy for maybe 3 months back in New Orleans. He came through, did a show. I was, of course, bought tickets. He does music venues, so it's mostly standing room, which is very interesting. But something about it makes you pay more attention. I swear to God. Something about standing there makes you just a little more attentive because you're standing. And you wouldn't be. But afterwards, he like kind of came out to this area. He'd take pictures of people. This was years ago when there wasn't camera phones. It was like legit old school camera shit. Nice. And he would say hi to people, but they kind of got moved along. And then I just kind of waited till he was at the bar, and I walked over and just was very like, "Hey, David." So, huge fan. I told him a sketch from Mr. Show, which was a show that like defined me. I love this sketch. It was amazing. I love your album. Thank you so much for coming to New Orleans later. And as I was walking away, he goes, wait. And then he bought us a shot, and we like did a shot together. And then I got the fuck out of there still. I did the shot. I was like, thank you. Yeah. Got the fuck out of there. And it's like that is a perfect fan interaction, if you ask me.
Right.
You approach the person, you say what it is that you love about them. I didn't even ask for a picture. Just say what you love. Maybe they buy you a shot. Maybe they buy you a drink. Maybe they give you a hit of a joint. Maybe they fucking pass the needle in the belt and say, "Hit it, bro." Whatever they do, you accept and then still get the fuck out of there. You know, like.
Right.
I agree with the pictures too. I'm not a big picture person. Like, I mean, I've had opportunities to meet people, and I really just like that experience, that moment. You know, like getting your phone out, just it ruins it. I think it ruins it. That's just me.
It does ruin it. You know, Hannibal does a thing where he doesn't take pictures with people on their phones. He has a personal photographer that will just snap a shitload of pictures of you as you're interacting with them.
Oh wow!
And then after you're done, he'll get your info and email you like all these pictures. So instead of just you and Hannibal, who's kind of or whoever being just like, you know, it's like you laughing with Hannibal, or you like shaking his hand, or you like having a moment, which just looks cooler. If you ask me.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
What is your spirit animal?
Owl.
Owl. Shit, that was fast.
Nice. Yeah.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I'm obsessed with owls. I love owls. When I was 15 years old, I was at my parents' house was in Slidell, Louisiana, which is in a neighborhood that was like slightly wooded. And I was hanging out of the window with the window closed behind me and a sweater. It was a fucking real rinky-dink operation I had. Basically, I would wrap a sweater around my waist, hang out the window, and close it. So I'd be hanging out so I could smoke a cigarette.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah, I was fucking smoking a Camel Red Light. Do you guys remember those?
No.
They were, so, you know, Camel lights. There was a while where they made Camel Red lights. It was just a fucking different package, a way for them to sell more cigarettes. But they were supposed to be made with like a Turkish blend. Later, they would become Camel Turkish Gold for you cigarette heads out there. But I'm smoking a cigarette in the woods, and I hear like a hardcore, just ears, like a shriek. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And like maybe 20 feet ahead of me, there's a branch, and there's just a moment like eyes just stared directly at me for a second, and then swung its head back around and was gone. Was just fucking gone. And I became obsessed. I'm obsessed with them still to this day. I've been told I look like an owl by people on acid. Everything about when you read about like the genetic makeup of an owl, it's very similar to me.
Yeah, you're full of feathers. It's great.
I can see a little bit. Yeah.
I move quietly. You know, it's great.
You eat small rodents. It's about right. Yeah.
I do eat small rodents.
All right, ready for that lightning round, Tanvir? What you got?
Let's do this. All right, so lightning round, no thinking. The first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who do you think will win in a fight, Danny DeVito or Bobby Lee?
Danny DeVito.
Rank in the order of importance: money, fame, sex, sleep, food.
Money, sleep, food, fame, sex.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Would you rather go on stage not with nausea or diarrhea?
Diarrhea.
All right, man. Okay.
Oh.
Who do you like more, Mary or me? All right. All right. Do it. Say it.
I can't. Mary, just because I know her longer. That's it. That's the only reason.
All right.
I would like to say that all three of us on this right now are all Scorpios. So this is very strong. This is a very strong episode, guys.
It is actually. All right.
Yeah. Scorpions. All right. Sorry, go.
Okay. One last question, and I'm going to ask you about this after this. But rank these comedians in the order of their funniness, like the least funny to the most funny.
Okay.
Ari Shaffir, Bert Kreischer, Sean Patton, Mark Normand.
Sean Patton, Ari Shaffir, Bert Kreischer, Mark Normand.
All right, you did great.
Wow.
You did great.
That was the end of the lightning round. Before we end our episode, we of course want to say thank you so much for coming on board. I'm going to showcase your Instagram and your Twitter, which people can find out all your great shows. We asked one last question to every guest. When someone Googles you, what do you want your autocomplete to be?
Sean Patton, human.
Nice. Fair. Nice and simple.
Human.
Love it.
Because that means, because it's going to come out that I'm not human. Right? I'm extraterrestrial or more like a titan. You know what I mean?
Fucking owl, people. We've already got that.
Not about the owl part. Doesn't that? Tell me that you don't see a fucking barn owl.
And that's our show. What did you think?
It was amazing. I got a lot of action items, though. I got to send him a package that he said he'd cover shipping for.
Mm-hmm.
I got to send him the link to that show. By the way, if you're watching, the show is called Hasmukh. It's on Netflix India. It's here as well. What is the third thing that I had to do? That's it, I think.
I think that was it. Yeah. Yeah. You had to record. You had to document your sealing of the bag before you sent it off.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm comfortable doing that.
Well, not the actual process, but like
just
sealing
an
envelope.
I don't know. No, I don't feel like it now. But this is fun. This is a fun episode, though. But
oh, that was good. All right. Well, this was our episode for this week. We were so grateful for Sean Patton to give us some of his time this week with his very crazy busy schedule. Please check him out on his Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Sean Patton. You can find all his shows that he will be performing at. And as always, please subscribe. And if you really, really liked us, please share us with your friends, family, and enemies. Till next time, I'm Mary Picarazzi.
And I'm Tanveer Arora.